Welcome to Indian Tech Icon Spotlight. Today we have Amit Bhardwaj with us. We are here in the Bay Area, Silicon Valley, the tech capital of the world. Amit is the CEO of Elevance System, and their primary focus is to cater the IT needs of the US healthcare industry. We'll dive into his professional journey and we'll know more about his personal life. Let's hear from Amit in his own words. Welcome to the show, Amit. Pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Sachin. Looking forward.
Yeah, I'm sure that we are going to have an exciting discussion. I'm looking forward to it as well. And let's jump into the discussion right away. Tell me about your company. What do you do?
So, Sachin, we are Elevance Systems. Primarily, we are a 100% healthcare focused company. We cater the IT needs of US health systems. Primarily health systems only. About 90% of business which we do is about US hospital systems, and about 10% is in the payer mode. So we do anything and everything in IT, for these large hospital systems, whether it's about managing their IT infrastructure, doing their cybersecurity, deploying, installing, maintaining some of the large enterprise applications, or maintaining them. So you name it, we do this, right? So we are the one-stop shop for all the IT needs of these large health systems.
Wonderful. Looks like a very, very niche area.
Yes, kind of. I think, that is what we decided to keep, continue to focus on US healthcare.
So when we talk about the healthcare, there are a lot of things that come to my mind. Now, let me start one by one because looking at this industry, because of everything around healthcare, in the US, there is a lot that goes in. I think a lot of people from outside may not know. So my focus is going to be somewhat in that area to find out what actually the US healthcare industry and how it operates, and what are your challenges as, when you look around systems and all. So with the AI that coming in right now, a lot of people talk about AI. I'm sure that you and your company is also looking into it. And how do you see the influence of AI into this particular sector?
Wonderful. So Sachin, let me divide this question into two sides. Number one, how the US healthcare industry is operating, and then the impact of AI on the US healthcare. So, to be honest, US healthcare at this point of time, first of all, people are very passionate. People who work in the healthcare industry, very passionate people. I will tell you, I've been in the industry for almost 20 plus years, and one of the most passionate people, even though people are struggling, been working long hours, going through COVID, the passion to take care of people and the humanity has not gone down.
Wonderful.
I see so many people, I see so many leaders, and even the engineers, and even the people on the ground like nurses. They say that though we are getting paid less, but we are in this industry just for the reason because they love the mission of the hospital. They love the mission of serving people, right? So that is the first part that I think one of the most passionate people, work in the US healthcare industry. That is number one. When it comes about the industry overall in itself, I think this is the high time when industry needs the rehauling. Because unfortunately, over the years of time, the needs have changed, the insurances have changed, the health of, people have changed. But unfortunately, the rules and regulations have not changed. What the structure which was put on by US government, that it has reached to the point today. I'm sure a common person, common people like you and me, when they look at the hospitals, they say that, man, they're ripping us off. You walk into the hospital and you see, for a small treatment, you're getting a bill of $10,000, $20,000 just to get a syringe in there. But technically, all that money does not go to the hospital. So today, if you look at this, there are three parts in it. One, insurance companies. Second, the hospitals. And third, the individuals. I'll tell you the only part which is getting sandwiched and suffering is on the hospitals. And I will tell you why. Because what happens is when a patient go to the hospital, there is a cost associated to it, right? Doctor is catering to the patient, nurses are there, such a big environment is there, big setup is there, right? So there is a cost associated to it, right? So they take that cost, give it to the insurance companies, and insurance companies cut that bill to half, right? Or 60% or 70%, right?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, what happens is a very small portion comes back to the hospital. And the way it is structured, you cannot say no to it, right? Hospitals cannot say no to it. Anybody comes in, they have to cater to them. So in overall, it's the hospital systems which are suffering the most. And if you see the history of last few years, such an unfortunately, slowly, all the community hospitals in the United States are on the verge of closing.
Wow.
On the verge of closing. If you see the last 5 years, how many large health systems have filed the Chapter 11, and how many small community hospitals are barely surviving even after so much of extra funding every year by the government. So I think the whole health system need to be rehauled, right? So unfortunately, what happens is when the hospital systems are struggling, because of that, the only area which they try to cut corners on, either the new inventions, new technology, or the R&D, right? Because they don't have money. They need the money to run the hospitals, right? To pay to the doctors, to pay for the bandages, to pay to the nurses, run the infrastructure, right? So when the money is left, that money is spent on your IT requirements, your IT needs, and the inventions. So unfortunately, this is where we are. And I think, I'm positive. The good part is that, people are getting aware about it. We are talking more and more on the forums about this. CEOs are talking more and more on the forums about it. And we are hopeful things will get better, and things are on the better side.
Well, let's hope that, because it's a very important sector, right? Hospitals, I think without it, the survival is difficult. With this state of hospitals, it's really hard to see if they're closing down, how people are going to access them if they are not available anymore. So I'm sure that there's something that needs to be done about it. And thanks for actually bringing it up, because not a lot of people know about these things. We don't want anyone to go to hospitals in the first place. But if the time comes, the facility should be there. It should be the greatest one, right? As we say that, the greatest nation. And the situation of our hospitals are such, I'm sure that, one day these all will get overhauled, and that will be same as what we are as a country.
Yes, also. Looking forward to it. Yes, thank you.
So now, talking about the healthcare industry again, because it's a very interesting subject, and I don't think I have talked to anyone who comes from this industry. So I do have a lot of questions from my side also.
Let's deep dive.
Healthcare, when I look at healthcare, I think about a lot of regulations. There are so many laws. I mean, when I go to a hospital, there are like 10 forms I have to fill, and there's just... So tell us about how do you navigate through this situation, because so many regulations, they are changing, and now because you're managing all of it from the IT side, I'm sure that your team or everybody has to make sure that they are aware of. How do you navigate through this, and how do you manage?
I think I'm glad Sachin, you brought this up. Those regulations, I will say, I think they are the safeguards. To be honest with you, right? If you primarily in the healthcare sector, those regulations are the safeguard, because the data with which we are dealing with, day and night, right? So any patient comes in, anything about the patient, that data is so got to be so secure, right? Got to be in your internal systems, right? So I strongly believe that those rules and regulations and those compliances which are required to operate in healthcare industry, I think they are required. Sometimes they slow us down because the pace at which we want to work, right? The pace at which you want to bring the change, it slows down. But ultimately, we have realized this, right? At the end, it always work in the favor, right? So I think, I'm a big believer in that. Rules, regulations, compliances are must. And I think, the only impact we see, slow down, but that's required.
So what's the best way that your team gets, updated about all the regulations that are changing. Because if it's changing for everyone, right?
Everyone.
People working at hospitals,
Yeah.
their administration, as well as people who are partnering with the hospitals.
So there are the regular, on a quarterly basis, on a yearly basis, there are trainings, there are sessions, which is important and must. Every individual, everybody who's involved in there, anybody who's touching the data, they have to go through, those trainings. They have to go through those compliance trainings and be a part of it, right? So that is what we make sure that everybody is a part of it.
And what keeps you awake in the night? Because when I look at this and the work that you and your team does, like, let's say, for example, your team is managing this entire infrastructure of the hospital, right? Probably it also has the booking and appointment systems and all that, like, because so many people are dependent on it. What keeps you awake in the night?
I'm so glad you asked this question, Sachin. And to be honest with you, there are only two things which keep me awake at night. Number one, patient care. Because patient can come in the hospital anytime. Your system should be always on the top of the line, always working, right? So you do not want, even in the upgrade time, even in the downtime, you cannot tell a patient walking in the emergency that my system is not working, system is down, right? So patient care is the most important thing always on our agenda. Whatever happens, patient care can never get impacted. So that's number one. And number two, the cybersecurity, right? So, me who support these, health systems, the CIOs, the CEOs, and even our cybersecurity teams, right? They're always worried about, these two areas, guys. Systems cannot go down in any case, and we should not get hit by a cyber fraud. Because if you see that in the last 2 or 3 years, US healthcare industry has got the maximum number of cyber attacks in the whole world.
Wow.
The US healthcare industry has got maximum number of cyber attacks in the whole world. So you can imagine, at what level and at what kind we have to operate and what kind of security measures we have to take. They just need one chance to get into our system, and we need to save ourselves 100% times.
Yeah, so you have to be on alert all the time.
All the time. Yeah. So these are the two things which keep me worried. But yes, touch wood, we have been doing well. We have the measures.
Yeah, I wish it stays that way. I can imagine how stressful that could be. But I'm glad that you and your team is able to keep those things safe and not letting the bad actors play.
Yes, thank you.
Now, we talked about your current company, what you do around the healthcare industry and the great work that you and your team has been doing. Let's go back a little bit in past.
All right.
And let's talk about your college journey and the pivotal moments during your college, like what made you what you are today. So let's talk about something about your college.
So Sachin, if I tell you, I'm glad. So my daughter, just 3 days back, she was telling me that, Dad, you didn't go to college. Can you imagine? So when I come back to college, so Sachin, we grew up in a very small town, and one thing I realized today, I think exposure at that age is everything, right? Grew up in a small town in a very middle class family where mostly everybody was either a primary teacher or people were running the local shops. So I think we grew up in a very middle class environment. The only thing which we were taught that either you do the business or you become a doctor, right? So that's all we were taught about it. So I think I will tell that from the exposure perspective, we had very limited exposure. But I think when we grew up, got to the college, started to meet people, started to learn, started to see that there is a life outside that small city also, right? People drive big cars. There's so many jobs. People work in the corporate environment. So that kind of exposure, I think that was the pivotal point that there is a need to do something more. Before it was, okay, guys, I wanna grow up. when I find a job, get married, have kids, live in my town, and I want to live my life beautifully the way our parents did that, right? But the pivotal moment was when I took admission in the college in another city, went to Delhi, started to see the another part of the world. That is where the need came in. I wanted to. I want to have it. I want to be there. And I think that's why you always say that that need is the mother of all the inventions. Right?
Yeah.
So for me also, it started, guys. I needed, how do I get there? So I think that was a pivotal point for me in my thinking and in my career.
So who inspired you to go out of that small town to Delhi? Somebody from your family, or what was that?
Always my mom. My mom has always, so whoever I am, so in every family, somebody is always there, right? To tell you, hey, you can do better. You can do this. So I think my mom has always been a very strong woman. In tough days, bad days, good days at home, she's the one who was always calm, who was always patient, and she's though she had limited education, but she's the one who was always the guiding star, in at least my life, where she said, Amit, you can do better.
Yeah.
Amit, this is where you need to be.
Yeah. Now, I think most of us actually, moms are the guiding guiding star, or whatever you want to call them. Like they are the ones who are actually leading you wherever you go.
I agree.
So you came to Delhi and then you did the college, and not in tech, right? So that's what I want to highlight to our audience is that, okay, you didn't do tech, right?
Yeah,
and then you came out of college, you did business.
So I'm a business graduate.
Okay.
Yes.
So what led you to what you are today? So because coming out of college and then leaving the country, going to a different country, setting up a life there, mostly has been a trait of a techie.
Yeah.
Not coming from a tech background still. So what led you to that thought process? How that opportunity came by?
Yeah. So, as I said, first of all, the need was very high on my head. I really wanted to do something in my life, right? When I came to that environment and I saw everybody has it, everybody is doing it, why I'm behind, right? So that need started to drive me, right? And I said, I need to just have a foot in the door anywhere, and let me see how will I do it. And to be honest with you, I was not even thinking 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the line, because I was coming from the background that I need to pass this day. We need to have this money to pay the fees for this month, and I need to have some money to go out with my friends, and this month on that day, right? So I was not looking like 5-10 years, right? So the only goal was have a foot in the door. And I just wanted a job in the corporate environment and to get in there. So, Touchwood luckily had some communication skills. So there was an opening in the talent acquisition team of one of the big IT large company in India. Got in there. So that was my first step. That was in the corporate sector. And I think that is what started. Became a part of talent acquisition team. So was a talent acquisition person for almost 10-12 years.
Wow.
10-12 years, I was only doing talent acquisition in India. I came to US as a part of talent acquisition team and worked for some of the large organizations. Then the point came where my own seniors, my own executives said, Amit, why don't you come with us into those large deals in which the CEOs is there, CIOs are there. You come be a part of those teams, what we can do and what we cannot do, right? From that perspective, right? So then I started to get that kind of exposure, where what us C-level executives is looking into the hospital, what a CIO is asking, what a CEO is asking, how the whole deal is done, how the whole business is done. I think that was a real learning ground for me to be at this point, right? So, and I'm going to again take it back to that environment. When you get into that environment, which I did not have when I was growing up in the small city, and I got into the bigger city, got that environment, learned it, changed fast, again, then came to US, caught in that environment of those C-level executives, learned the business, how the deals are done, how the IT is run, how the cybersecurity is run, what is most important for an IT company, what is most important for a hospital system. What is the most important in today's world? The patient care cannot get impacted, right? Whatever happens, patient cannot get impacted, right? So, I think that environment, that learning and ability to change every time, you cannot stay on the same path. In my career, after every 10 years, I have evolved after every 10 years. Today, after 30 years in the professional career, at least 3 times I have evolved, changed what I was doing. And so here I am.
Great. Looks like a very interesting journey. So I'm looking at there are multiple pivotal points that came in, right?
Yeah.
First, when you got out from the small town, went to Delhi, and then when you came in to talent acquisition team, and then that's when you got the opportunity to actually go out again, right? So I think it's a great, and I'm sure that you must be having that potential. So people are looking at it and saying, okay, let's come with us.
Yes.
And so that's kudos to your own capabilities as well.
Thank you, Sajjan. Thanks a lot. Yeah.
So from there on to the CEO, and I want to add one thing. So interestingly, you said earlier that, in that small town, everybody used to talk about either you become a doctor or you take up some job. Right?
Yeah.
You didn't become a doctor, but at least, you're in the same industry, right?
Yes,
close to that.
I'm close to that, yes. And I think, healthcare, so you know that, right? In every family, you want, a doctor is a very reputable, position, right?
Yeah.
People look up to a doctor, with a lot of respect. And, we always wanted to be that side, but at least I'm glad, I could connect to that industry.
Yeah. And you're helping them, right?
Yes.
So, because I think they all work as a team. Doctor is alone by themselves.
Yeah.
Probably may not be able to do as much as they are able to do with the team, the nurses and the administrative staff and the support system and the IT system, infrastructure, I think all of them. So being there itself, you are at least maybe a part of what it used to be.
We are, definitely, yes.
So, and then from there on, when you started to go and start seeing all this as part of your new role, leading up to now, CEO of Elevance System, how has that journey been like, and what are your challenges? Maybe you want to share that?
I think, Sajjan, I always had that bug in me that I want to do something of my own. To be honest, as I said, initially I had no idea who I am. The only goal was to get this day, this month, this year, make some money. That thinking was only limited to that. But as I started to meet people from different industries, from different level and different areas of the world, then the brain start opening up, right? Then, this can be done. This is not difficult. This can be done. This is not difficult, right? So that ability to evolve and ready to take the challenges, I think that I had in me, right? Because, and that is the thing, which a small town, guy always carry that, man, no, I think I can do it. I think I can dare to do this, right? I have that attitude to do this.
Never give up attitude.
Never give up. So I've always been resilient, right? So I think that that attitude to try, that attitude to take chances, that I can do it, right? Let me try, and that bug of doing something bigger and putting something together. I think I think that ability of me been able to drive me. Definitely hard work. You cannot replace hard work. I'm going to say I'm not a talented guy. I'm not one of the smartest guy in the room, but I can surely say that I'm one of the hardest working, guy in the room. And I think that my hard work, that being resilient, being persistent, has got me here. It's not the smartness.
Well, you are being humble, but the success and the growth shows it all.
Thank you, Sajjan.
Tell us about like your how you see this industry evolving from here, the one that you are in.
So healthcare has a lot of focus. So as it impacts everybody around, right? Healthcare has a lot of focus, and I'll tell you, government, is taking a lot of initiatives. But a lot of research is happening. I think, after defense, the maximum money which goes in the research and R&D is on healthcare. And we being in the United States, I think we are at the best spot, in the world. So the money which is going in the research, the projections which we have for the next 3 and 5 years, from the pharma, from the healthcare, it's a lot coming. And I'm glad to share this, that with the addition of AI, right? AI is going to change everything. So I'll tell you, we are at step 1, in terms of AI, and we can already see the impact of it. So I will tell you, we are step number 1. In a year, we will be at step 2. You will start seeing the impact where AI is doing a lot of things in our everyday life in healthcare. Whether it's about the insurances or it's about getting an appointment, or it's about setting up your MRI, or even reading your MRI. Reading your MRI, I know it's very difficult, and it has to pass through all those regulations, because being a part of HIPAA and human touch there, but they will be able to help. Think about this: you have 5 MRIs in front of you, where AI do the basic screening, give you the data. Okay, guys, AI tells you this is what I believe. It's never going to be where AI will make the final decision about your health. It's always the doctor dash, right? But AI will be able to give the feedback to the doctor by comparing 5 at the same time, right? 10 MRIs at the same time. Hey, after seeing the history of all these MRIs, this is where I can. So what I'm saying is, AI will help a lot. So industry is going to change a lot.
I think you touched upon one thing that I really wanted to ask. I think you clarified a little bit, but let me ask that. So when all this becomes AI driven, let's say, for example, the MRI example you're taking, do you also think that it's kind of influencing the doctor also by giving a basic judgment? Because when something comes new to me, I have like a green field, like I can think in whatever direction. Now with somebody directing me, setting my line of thought. Do you think that there's a possibility where now they are stuck in that line of thought and not able to come out of it?
So AI will not give you the decision, right? AI will only, so if you want, AI can give you the decision from a technology perspective, right? But what I see in next few years, depending on how highly regulated the industry is, I believe that doctors will be allowed to use AI to compare the data. So think about today's scenario. Just a scenario, when a patient goes to the doctor, right? They're only seeing the MRI of that patient, right? And with their experience and seeing that data only, they decide the next course of your treatment. Think about that scenario when the doctor can compare your MRI with the history of 100 people who were suffering with that and where it led to, right? So the data of comparisons and then ultimately the doctor decision making, that is what will be the ideal input from AI.
I think that's why I said that you answered part of it. That history, looking at this, I think correct. That's the biggest piece where now you, within the same amount of time, you are able to reference so much of past and then come up with a viewpoint, maybe.
Right.
I'm sure that I'm kind of questioning my own question.
No, good.
Maybe doctors will evolve from that point to not get pulled into an opinion, or rather look at it from a data standpoint.
Exactly. When you comparing the data, when you are having the history, right, of patients of the same line of treatment, then I think it's a well-informed decision, rather judging on your mental capacity of thinking or the individual results. I think that will be more uniform right decision.
Yeah, and I'm sure that yes, AI is here to stay and it's going to help all of us in a big way.
Oh, 100%.
So how do you motivate your team, or rather, tell your team what's coming up and how you like kind of navigate them through this AI? Because AI also comes with a lot of uncertainty, right?
Yes.
Right now, the scenarios are not clear. People don't know what's going to happen. Are we going to rely on it or not? How do you navigate through these things in your day-to-day?
So we can see the impact today, right? We are developing the models. We are developing the AI products today, which have started to help us, in today's time. I'm sure everybody is using Chat GPT, right?
Yeah.
Look at the kind of impact it is. So I will share in my own house. I will give you an example. My own son is a high schooler, and my wife, she did put his grades in school, and she said, "Okay, Chat GPT, tell me what all he needs, to be in an Ivy school." Chat GPT for the next 10 months, gave month by month,
Wow.
Schedule. This is what he should study in this month. This is what he should be studying in this month, and should be his grades. And this is the social activity. This is the a research he should do to be there. So what I'm trying to say, help with the help of the data, it is helping us a lot. But I'll tell you, the AI entry in our lives today will be at a very small entry level. Where it's helping us on the transactional point. Let's say you call the insurance company, right? Now an agent is picking up the call, right? And looking at the data, giving you the information. Okay, Sachin, this is the premium you have, this much money is left, and all that. Most basic transactional thing. I think AI entry in our lives will start from there. It's not gonna start making the judgment about your health, not about finding a match for somebody. But I think the entry point of AI will be on the transactional perspective, right? Where it will help us to make the life easy, right? And let's see how the growth comes in.
Let's see. Yeah, we are here to stay and see how this is going to evolve. And I'm sure that this is going to simplify a lot of our lives. We will be able to focus our time and mind space in a lot of other productive and creative things.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about your career, your journey. Let's talk about your personal life in terms of what Amit is outside of work. What are your likings? What do you generally do to pass time?
I'm a big time hiker. So right now I'm pursuing. I wish I keep watching. Those videos. I want to hike Mount Everest. That's the goal. I hope someday I can do this. But from my personal hobbies, I'm a hiker. I love playing cricket. I have a fantastic set of people, from the tech world, who come, and every Saturday we spend 4 or 5 hours, good energy. That's what we do, and going out and spend time with the family. I think that's what most of my own personal time goes in.
Yeah, I think cricket is one area where most of the people I talk to, especially Indians, no one can take cricket out of them.
We grew up with that, right? That flows in our blood.
And I could relate one of your previous comments when you said that maybe that was back in time, but I closely relate that with cricket, where you said that I was not thinking too far ahead.
Yeah.
It was just day by day, like how you do in cricket when you go for a test match.
Yeah.
You say, okay, we have to survive until lunch.
That's it.
If we come back, yes, going to survive until tea.
That's
You're not thinking about, okay, next day what I'm going to come and play, right?
I so agree. Yeah, that's the attitude.
So you talked about Mount Everest. What are the most recent hikes you may have done?
A few months back, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro.
Wow.
Yeah, in Tanzania. So I was there with a group of friends. So we all went there. Fantastic time. You get so much of your own time. You hike. You clear your mind. You have new ideas. I just loved it. And before that, in Hawasubai in Nevada. So yeah. So I just I try to find at least twice a year. I try to pick up some big hike and go and cut from everything and just clear my brain.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to disconnect from everyday's hustle. So many things going on in the life. Maybe just disconnect for a moment. Come back, rewire it, and then start all fresh.
And you are a different person for at least for 1 month. You have the clear thoughts.
And then by the time it starts to go there, you are ready for your next.
For the next one. Yes.
That's a good way to look at it. I mean, whatever helps to clear your mind, I think
it helps.
One should continue to do it.
Thank you.
And at the end of the day, you are working in an industry which is highly stressful. Your job itself is stressful. And you are catering to one of the industries which is most important for any human being living on the earth.
And very demanding.
Yeah. So I wish you good luck.
Thank you, Sajjan.
It was great knowing about your professional journey, what you do, how you are helping the US healthcare system, and then the challenges around it. And then also about your personal life.
Thank you, sir.
So it's very inspiring. And for all our audiences, it's a good way to look into what it takes to be where you are. So thank you for sharing your story, Amit.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck with whatever you do.
Appreciate it. Take care.